Today we're getting set for another special Schmoedown Throwdown event, and this is a big one because we're going to have the final match of the first round of the Ultimate Singles Schmoedown Tournament. That's right, I said the final match, because I think in my last video I said we were halfway through the first round, and somehow in my head I think I missed about 3 or 4 matches. So yeah, me dumb. Haven't you figured that out by now? So our final match of the first round is going to be a rematch that happened not too many moons ago. It's Jeannine the Machine versus Mike KO the Killer. I don't even think Schmoedown knows what to call him anymore. But to my knowledge, it's the Killer Kalinowski. Mike came out on top in the previous match that they had, but this one has a little bit more at stake. For obviously, the winner of this match will get to go on to the next round to face one outlaw John Roca in round 2. So, it's Jeannine versus Kalinowski, the final match of round 1 in the singles Ultimate Schmoedown Tournament today on JTH Reacts to the Schmoedown Throwdown. Welcome back. Okay, so another thing that I actually forgot. No surprise there. Me dumb. Haven't I already said that before? I forgot that this video was also going to include the monumental announcement of the Nuke, whatever that may be. I don't know how they're going to announce it. I don't know when they're going to reveal it, but we do know at some point this is going to be announced at some point. So, I guess let's not waste any more time, because I'm sure this is going to go on for a little while, because that's Schmoedown likes to keep the excitement. Oh, and I haven't done this in a long time. This Schmoedown reaction is sponsored by Coke. Share a Coke with Ryan. So congratulations, Ryan Permison, Ryan Payne, whoever sees this video first. This choke's for you. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. No, it's the bounce.
What you doing?
Hey, Paul.
Mr. Star Nipples.
Sitting here contemplating how much of a mistake it was for you to crash my interview.
Dude, that interview needed me, all right? Came in and spiced it up.
Just like the reactions need me.
Yesterday's news.
That's all you keep saying. Buddy, write a speech. Hire someone to write a speech. I will refer you to people if you want.
I can't write. I'm busy watching movies. So listen, very busy. Got things to do.
Yeah, I got a sword right here, so just,
All right, look. I'm only leaving because you got a weapon. All right?
Yeah, okay.
I got movies to watch.
And I gotta watch more. Yeah, gotta watch more movies.
Rookies.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Christian. The gang's all here.
Schmoedown Throwdown. I'm Christian Harloff.
Where's you are looking live. I'm pointing at it at the yep. You are looking live.
Thus far, the winner advances
to
round number 2 to join the other round 2 advancers, and you talk about a match.
The other round 2-ies, like Banjo 2-y
in this league. A Jeannine the Machine, a Mike Kalinowski. I mean, those are just 2 interplanetary forces about to collide here today.
Well, they really are, because they've had a beef for a very long time. You know the history of
they
what's
got
happened
beef
in the past with
and ham.
The defunct. You had Miss Movies and Stacey Howard. Miss Movies jumped over to Mike Kalinowski. There was inner strife and all this stuff.
They're jumping around. Boing, 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 boing.
And then they finally played. They had a match, and Mike won. And it is hard not to say that Mike Kalinowski is not playing the hot hand, because he is. He is the Inner Geekdom champion. He is co-holder of the team.
He playing the hot hand, all right. Ow, hot hand. Don't burn myself.
Oyama for the singles championship. He's having a miracle run. But there's something in the air about the Machine. There's something about the way that she's been playing. She's been that close every single time to the big match, whether it was the Manager Bowl or the triple threat at last year's Collision. She's right there. Is today the day that she pulls off that big one?
And when you are a competitor like that, you're looking for your moment. You're looking for that. If you're a running back, you just want to find that hole that's going to take you to glory. Having a live event, having something like this, the Schmoedown Throwdown.
Nick Chubb certainly found that hole on Sunday against the Ravens. We stink. It finally came to fruition. I can finally say it with pride.
And the other big prize here is that the winner plays the outlaw John Roca.
What a treat.
Who's he?
John Roca beat Rachel Silvestrini in a great match in the first round. Barely did it, but he did it. And now he waits for either the Machine or Kalinowski, and that starts to play. Now, is that going to motivate Mike Kalinowski? Because we know that they have the big match in Orlando coming up on October 19th. And once again, if you guys want to be there, you should be there. October 19th.
If you want to be there, you should be there.
Probably go to a water park the day before.
I think that's absolutely true.
If you should be there, be there.
Team title match. Mike Kalinowski and his partner, Chance Ellison, defending against Dan Merle and Roca. Merle cashing in his free-for-all win. The Schmoedownlive.com. You can get those tickets right now if you're going to be there. But is that in his head? Is he thinking about that? That's a lot.
Looking ahead to the rest of your schedule where Jeannine has this match to focus on. I mean, look, you see it all the time in college football, and I think the Schmoedown is exactly like college football in a number of ways.
I agree with you completely.
Jerseys.
So we are going to
and
find
Maryland
out exactly how
get their
got
ass
here in just a
kicked.
second, but I also want
59 to nothing. What in the world, Terps?
If you've been following Twitter or following
Remember when they were ranked 2 weeks ago?
For a brief
I don't either.
time, Robert Meyer Burnett was the acting commissioner for this league.
It was the worst month of my life.
It was pretty bad. However, one day he walked into where I was sitting, and he said to me, he goes, look, I got this thing, and I want you to go for it, which I thought was going to be ridiculous. I looked at it, and I said, let's do it. What is that? We've been calling it the Nuke.
Were you sober?
No. Okay. We were calling it
sure?
the Nuke. You will find out what the Nuke is after the match. All right, so
I think
we are now.
We were all.
Get off the stage!
But now we're going to find out exactly how Machine and Kalinowski got here for their second match. Here we go.
This is it. This is the moment. After 2 years building up for you, for this moment, I'm proud of you. But for me, it's Saturday.
5, 4, 3.
White bread.
2. And your winner, by way of
Gotta hand it to you. When you go down, you go down in flames.
What a miracle season by Kalinowski so far this year.
Getting closer to Mikey 3 belt.
Fans came to me saying, hey, Mikey 3 belts, and, well, here I am.
Mike Kalinowski is now the 3rd double belted champion.
I'm going for that 3rd belt.
Once again,
Well, I could run over there and get my belts, and I could be a triple belted champion. Not to show off though. Just call it JTH 3 belt. Nobody wants that though.
The Machine takes the lead with that one.
You are open to a rematch, though.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
That was a fluke, his victory. That kind of makes her the corruption killer.
I set out last year to take that Inner Geeking title, and I got it. Every time I open my mouth to say what I'm going to do, it happens. You see what happens when you doubt me. Keep doubting me.
That's right, Mr. Popeye Spicy Chicken Sandwich.
Sometimes people make bad decisions, and that bad decision was challenging the Machine.
Victory tastes so good.
Unless it's dairy-free ice cream. Don't even make sense. I think my face is melting just hearing those preposterous words.
Mike Kalinowski's trying to go for that 3rd belt, and not only is Jeannine trying to get
Was it made of
win,
acidophilus milk?
For Jeannine.
Well, it's got the
Jeannine was the
ass
one that
part
ended
right.
Mike Kalinowski's singles season. If today is the last time that Mike plays in the singles division because of Jeannine, I think that alone would be satisfying.
Oh, it's a huge spur going on.
We shall be saved.
Mikey 3 belts in his tracks right there, and then that's going to give him a lot to think about as he continues on to Orlando.
I guess I should get my board out and get some questions wrong.
Very nice for me this morning. She shows
Here
up
I
to
was
the
just
studio, and
I was just
watched it,
expecting
as I
to
usually
enjoy
do.
a match. No, I gotta play along because I gotta show everybody how bad bad eye
This
is.
actually a wristband that is helping to promote one of our good friends in the movie Trivia Schmoedown, Paul the Powder Keg Preston. His wife, Karen, is currently battling, bravely fighting cancer, and we have been given word that a Facebook group has started. You can make donations to help Karen and
which I've done so.
This dreaded
Please
disease.
donate.
I was talking to Paul about it. They're both in very good spirits. But
Last I checked, it is up to $31,000. That is amazing.
We encourage everybody out there to be a part of that army. I posted the Facebook donation link both in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown fan page, and I just tweeted it out from my personal account. So please consider giving something to the fight. Help join the army and be a part of Karen and Paul's fight. We love you, Karen. We love you, Paul.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Please go ahead and do that. All right, so no easy transition here, but we are going to get into the match. Mark, we have a tale of the tape. What do we got?
Jeannine the Machine. She knows her rom-coms.
She does.
She knows her Brad Pitt movies, and she is very good at having a huge heart.
She does have a good
huge
As do is.
And Mike the Killer Kalinowski.
As do I.
Big of a heart.
No, that's it.
No,
not
he's
really.
a nice guy, though. I do like him. Oh, and he's very good at comic book movies. We know his inner geekdom prowess, but the guy also knows his way around Jimmy Bond.
That is true. And
Jimmy
with that,
Bond.
I ask you,
See, like
ready to
Jimmy
go?
Dean?
James Bond. Now I am ready, yes.
All right, then. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the
Movie Trivia Schmoedown. Yay! So I almost fall out of my seat.
Introducing first. Led to the ring by her manager, the Urban Gladiator, Jay Washington. Representing the
Not much dance to it. When Ben comes out, I'm just ready to do all this. But you just gotta let this play out.
2 knockouts. She is Jeannine the Machine. Listen to the audience.
Jay Washington emerges. There's Jeannine. There's that now classic confident stroll.
Ooh,
It's like
ooh.
she's walking a catwalk.
Custom-made leather jacket.
Kicking contest, and she
Me
is gonna be the
approved.
winner. Jay Washington can just sit back and give a grin.
She's become one of our most popular players that we have. And
Chicago
to
Blackhawks.
have Jay by her side. This is something. This is going to be.
You could at least promote
Yeah,
your
I mean, I was gonna
burrs.
say, Jeannine has gotten so
Da
good at
burrs.
performing live. It's almost like she doesn't need Jay anymore. Do you agree with that?
First of all, she doesn't need me. She wants me here. There's a big difference. But you need to change that shirt.
This is.
We're not going to do this, okay?
This
It
is
is early
autumnal.
for some of us on the West Coast. On the East Coast, they waking up to breakfast and brunch and stuff and realizing what the hell are you wearing, and it's weird. Christian has on the suit jacket. You got on something for Forever 21. Let's get this right.
Ellis just went heel.
Yeah, this is actually purchased at Forever 21, and it's not only representing the fall, but also the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, currently 4-0, taking on the Boston College Eagles this Saturday.
Nice.
What is this, an NCAA plug now?
And her
Well,
opponent.
I plugged how bad the Terps are, so beat them to it.
representing
Take that.
Corruption.
Fear the turtle.
Led to the
Unless
ring
they
by his
suck.
managers,
Which they do.
Grace Hancock and the Pit Boss.
Maybe they'll be
Ken
decent
Knapsack.
when basketball comes out.
With a record of 6 wins.
Damn
4
it.
defeats,
Damn
and 4
it.
knockouts. He is the reigning Movie Trivia Schmoedown Inner Geekdom
Oh,
Champion.
darn.
The reigning Movie Trivia Schmoedown Team Champion. He is
Don't you love the JTH hair just flying all over the place? Now I look like a bum. Lots of cheers. What's on the board, Ken? Can't see it. Can't see it. I'll have to pause it later so I can see it for that split second that it looks like this. Sorry, Ken. That darn glaring light. Blame the light. Blinded by the light.
With those shoulder pads.
Excuse me. could
He
somebody
ain't no
look at
road
your man?
warriors.
He's looking too hard. He's going to have a stroke or something. I don't want to deal with this.
Wow, already going
Now
after
a
it.
battle of age.
Don't you got some Wendy's to sell or something?
All right, so the battle between corruption.
Now
and
he's got some Burger King. They
going
did
on
come
for
out
a
with
long
that
time. Look at this
pretzel bacon king
Look at
thing.
Mike.
Actually looks
Mike
quite
setting up.
tasty.
Did you hear something?
We're watching. We're watching.
I was expecting a little show, a little skit or something. That's your thing, isn't it? Bits? You got bits and skits?
Bits.
At some point, you
Bits
think
and
Mike or the
skits.
managers would have like a
I
roadie.
wanted some bits and skits.
Bits and skits and twits and Brits and
suburban housewife.
He is a team
I was
champion.
looking for some chuckles and some guffaws up here, some hijinks.
All right, we're gonna ask Jay Washington now. Jay's
Hi,
walking up as
hijinks
Out of our
and
competitors, this is the
twits.
last
Yeah, I don't mind
match
twits.
In the first round of the
Twits
Ultimate
are
Showdown.
good.
Winner goes on to play the Outlaw John Roca.
Much better than the
Both
Three
competitors have sat down.
Musketeers.
Mark, what are the rules for
The
this?
the candy bar, not the movie.
Three-round contest. The competitors, the field, will hear 8 questions.
The
from
field,
different corners
not
of the
including me.
Schmoedown. No
I
having
would not
1 point. There's
be
no
anywhere
money for
near
this
that
question.
field.
There is no stealing in round number 1. As soon as we ask the question, you have about 15 seconds to write down your best attempt at an answer on the whiteboard in front.
I'm waiting
Once
for
we
one
ask
day
my
that
name, your nickname,
that
so
right
you
there,
reveal your
that'd be a
answer, show
typo,
you
and call it the
what you do to your
JTH
camera,
rule.
at the same time you verbalize your
Followed by
best
thank you,
attempt
thank you, thank you.
into the mic.
It'll never happen though. If it does, it'll just be a
I'll remind each competitor that you have
wink,
usages
jab
of
at
JTE throughout the
JTH.
duration of the match. Not sure you heard a question right. You want to buy yourself another 15 seconds? Use a JTE rule. You also each have 1 challenge to be used at any point throughout the 3-round match. I see a lot of gold on Mike's side. Jeannine has some gold on, and obviously these leaves are golden, so I think it's about time to get it on.
And I'm wearing some gold. Sun Studio, Memphis, Tennessee.
All right, Machine, are you ready?
Ready.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown!
Yay!
All right.
Good crowd here. Good crowd.
Good crowd.
They are looking
One in the
live.
category fantasy/sci-fi.
Oh dear.
Who played Princess Buttercup in 1987's The Princess Bride?
Oh, I was just watching this movie and I don't know.
Who introduced me to the film? Who demanded that I watch The Princess Bride?
Well,
in the year 2010.
Face each other as God intended.
4,
Sportsmanlike.
3,
No tricks.
2,
No weapon.
1. We start with Mike.
Skill gets skill alone.
Robin Wright?
Yes, and Jeannine.
Robin Wright.
There you go. One more.
I will not forget that from now on.
Right pen. I was so concerned that was going to happen.
The answer is Bonnie Somerville.
It is our own Bonnie Somerville. 0-1 lifetime in the Schmoedown.
0-2.
0-2. Thank you. Thank you, Christian.
You go next, my friend.
I'm just waiting for the dramatic pause.
Oh, there you go.
And we are into action-adventure films. And your question, who played the vile President Coriolanus Snow in The Hunger Games? I mean, when you're starting to name kids Coriolanus, just go back to Bob.
Well, it's post-apocalyptic, you know what I'm saying?
Just go to Jim or John or something.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Yukon, Coriolanus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jeannine.
Donald Sutherland.
Yes, Mike.
Oh,
Donald Sutherland.
There we go.
I said Woody Harrelson.
Choice I would buy orange juice from.
Question 3. Dramas. Who plays the ambitious young jazz drummer Andrew in 2014's Whiplash?
All right, I put you in a room with every musical instrument under the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Which one are you going to play?
Piano.
Have you ever taken piano?
No, my brother did.
I used
And I would
Brother was like a musician.
really good, yeah.
Talent.
Yes.
Yeah. What happened to you?
Didn't try it. 5, 4, 3.
I think this is right.
I can hum really well.
Didn't
1.
take.
Pens down, please, and we go with Mike.
Miles Teller?
Yes, Jeannine.
Yes.
Miles Teller.
Tie game.
Yay! I got one.
Perfect rounds so far. As we move into your next category, these are movie quotes.
Movie quotes.
What 1980s film features the line, "Are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?" All right, you said you're a great hummer, so show your talent. Hum a score, and I'll tell you what it's from. Don't do crash test dummies.
Bum, 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 bum. Forget it. 5. I realized it in the middle of it. 3, 2.
You threw me off, Christian. Shame on you.
Yes, we did. That was bad.
Jeannine.
Weird Science.
Mike Kalinowski.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He had it.
Oh.
You were paying-
Brad Gilmore will not
Were you guys
approve.
humming a little Alan Silvestri over there, boys?
Just
Humming a little Alan
yeah.
Silvestri?
I almost, yeah.
Okay.
I changed it up
Ba
in the
ba
middle.
ba
Of it.
ba 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 ba
Good.
ba ba
Don't ask me
ba.
to do shit like that. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. All right, here we go.
You're swearing now, too?
I'm a
Wow.
dum-dum.
Dum
The old
dum.
man finally
Stupid.
lost it.
I'm a dummy. I admit it.
Mark this day.
Viviani looked at me like a disapproving parent, and he had every right to.
After
all
question
right.
4, on September 28th, the year of our Lord 2019, Christian George Harloff lost his mind.
Dummy. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Get it back.
Again, every comment is right. All right, here we go. New releases. Number 5. New releases. Who provides the voice of the title character in Detective Pikachu?
All right.
Yay.
Don't
There's a
ask me anything.
softball
Just
for
gonna dance to the
JTH.
camera
Please.
And say you can get tickets for my show next week in New York City, October 3rd, New York Comedy Club. Hey, sounds like some people are going.
4, 3.
MarkEllisLive.net.
Ryan Reynolds.
Pens down.
Yay.
Mike Kalinowski.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yes, Jeannine.
Ryan Reynolds.
Got it. Okay.
Yay. Up to
Next
2. Can I get to Mr.
All right,
3 and
moving on
8?
To the world of comedy.
Ah! Beat you to it. It was at a false start.
All right.
Yeah,
Offense.
It's my own fault. Who starred opposite Eddie Murphy as the character Louis Winthrop III in 1983's Trading Places? You excited about the Eddie? Going back to
Yeah, and I like what he's been doing.
December
He's been going around
21st.
doing the rounds and promoting it. So
but not in comedy clubs.
no, 5, not yet. 5,
Still waiting.
4,
I don't
3,
think this is right.
2, 1. Jeannine.
Is it Kurt Russell?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yes, Mike.
Nah.
Dan Aykroyd.
Got it. Okay.
Crap.
6,
I
5.
should've known that.
Mike has it.
Should've known that.
All right, next question, guys. Category of horror/thriller. What 2019 psychological horror film was directed by Tate Taylor and it starred Octavia Spencer?
Speaking of somebody at this desk went to a horror thing.
Oh yeah, went to the
I didn't know
Universal
you-
Horror Nights.
How much do they have to pay you to do that?
A horror movie that I know.
He gets scared of his mind. Price admission 5.
That poor guy.
4, 3,
Is it
2,
Ma?
1. Mike.
Ma?
Yes. And
Yes!
Ma.
got it. All right, so Mike Kalinowski.
I knew a god
Kalinowski
dang horror
is a
question.
away from a perfect round, and Jeannine is looking to get herself to 7 points with this next question.
The meatloaf. Your last question is in the world.
I almost
of
don't
animated
want to go
movies
8 out
by
of 3.
hand or on a
Or
computer.
8 out of 3.
And your
3 out of
question,
8.
Who voices Poppy, the happiest troll ever born, in 2016's Trolls?
Oh dear.
Now you can do that.
Sorry.
Do 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 do.
Troll dolls.
Yeah, I wish I had one now. 5, 4,
The roller
I have
waiter.
no idea.
3.
Man.
Repeat the
Anime question.
Repeat the question.
Ugh.
There you go. One for
Who
Jeannine.
voices Poppy, the happiest troll ever born, in 2016's Trolls? Happy troll. Unlike the kind I come across on Twitter every day.
5,
Stop.
4,
I can't even
Three.
guess a name.
Bad troll.
2,
Shoot.
1. Jeannine.
Anna Kendrick.
Yes, and Mike.
Mm.
Mike.
Anna Kendrick.
Perfect round from
Ah.
Mike Kalinowski. All right, Mike Kalinowski hits the perfect round, so Mike Kalinowski will have this
Nice job, Mike.
question. And
Solid
Mike,
C+.
you do not have to write this down, Mike. You don't have to write it down. This is just for you. All right, here you go, Mike. Here is your question for 1 extra point. Who directed the Mark Wahlberg war film Lone Survivor?
Peter Berg.
1 more point from Mike. 9-7. Mike Kalinowski hits
I'll
all
give you a
8
golf clap.
questions and the perfect round there. Mike Kalinowski having a hell of a round thus far, but now we get to the wheel round where it could be make or break.
It really could, but I mean, look, Mike Kalinowski, yeah, he threw a perfect round and got the bonus question, but Jeannine not blinking.
One.
She got 7
Missed
points.
one. Missed one.
I mean, this is still anyone's match as we get into the wheel round, the wheel of
Wheel
fate
of death,
and
got
justice.
rid of the
On that there
wheel.
wheel. You're going to have 10 different categories from 10 different corners of movie trivia, Schmoedown goodness, and we also have what every competitor hopes to spin, spinner's choice, and fan favorite opponent's choice. That's always a
No,
really
not
dramatic
fan
time.
favorite.
Each question
No
will
one
settle on a
wants
category
opponent's
is
choice.
worth 2 points. You have 4
Death by
questions
fire.
in each genre. If you're not sure of the answer, you can ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1, and I will remind the competitors that stealing is available in round number 2. So, Mike,
At least they didn't say no penalty for a wrong answer.
2-point lead, one for
They
each
do
guy.
that
Would you
quite
like to
often.
spin first or defer to Jeannine?
I'll go with tradition and go first.
He's going to go first.
All right, Mike's going to spin. Please spin
From
from
the wheel, not the pegs, please.
Jeannine has 2
From the
JTs.
wheel, not the
Mike has
pegs.
all 3
You
left.
dragged out you dragged out the old wheel
There
again.
you go. Solid spin.
That old wheel unretires more than Brett Favre.
Hit against her last time. Well, it was spinner.
Unbelievable.
He has gotten Bond a handful of times in some team matches, and when he won the title against the Shire Wolves, he hit it. So he's looking for it now if he can hit James Bond, he's going to be in good shape.
It's
But
coming.
it looks like
It's a little too fast. It's a little too fast.
But wait.
Oh, get away. Get away. Whew. Crisis averted.
It's Martin Scorsese.
Safe.
Is he going to go away from it? Is he going to push his luck, or does he go with Scorsese? Going to go again.
All right.
Wow.
He looked over to the management to confirm, and
all right, so here it is.
Not going to be Scorsese.
But he was just there. He got away from Bond, and it was just a second away from hitting Spinner's Choice. You know, he would have chosen Bond, and it landed on Scorsese.
That's right. He wants that James Bond category. James Bond goes overseas.
Looks like it's going farther
Top
away
secret
here.
missions.
But it's coming around. It's coming around.
It couldn't possibly happen like this.
You gotta be kidding me.
He does it again. He does it again.
It's the old wheel's fault. That's why you keep bringing back the old wheel.
He does it again.
He don't do it again. The old wheel. Blame the old wheel.
I spun again. I didn't get opponent's choice. I didn't get spinner's choice. It's fate.
All right, here we go. So the craziness in the crowd already.
The bitches.
All right, here we go.
She can still win this.
All right, so here we go. So, Mike, you get 4 questions. You got 4 questions in the realm of James Bond.
And we went PG-13 after all
Still
that.
This is not even over.
All right, 4
Not
questions.
over.
You're going through a lot of different emotions right here. You got to choose a character. All right, here we go. Question 1. Mike,
Pick a
what
movie.
famous landmark does Grace Jones jump from in A View to a Kill?
That would be the Eiffel Tower.
For 2 points, that is correct. All right.
The Eiffel Tower, one of Las Vegas's best landmarks.
Question 2.
Bingo.
The character
Stole
of
my
Lucy
line.
Galore appears in which Bond film?
Goldfinger. That's an easy one.
Goldfinger.
2 more points.
He's
He
perfect.
he stalled on that one a little bit. That one's a little bit.
In the Bond
That's a softball.
franchise, who was the first actor to portray M?
That's a good one.
5, 4, 3.
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Jack Lord, B, Robert Brown, C, Anthony Dawson, D, Bernard Lee?
Anthony Dawson.
Is it Robert Brown?
It's incorrect.
Oh.
Is it A, Jack Lord, B, Robert Brown, C, Anthony Dawson, D, Bernard Lee?
A.
It's incorrect. Looking for Bernard Lee.
Whoa.
We're all wrong.
But still, Mike Kalinowski missing a James Bond question is big news.
That's right. That's right. All right, here you go. Here you go. Okay. In The Man with the Golden Gun, what is the name of Scaramanga's tiny assistant?
Knick-knack.
Correct for 2 more points.
Knick-knack.
So Mike Kalinowski.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
Mike Kalinowski, 15 to 7. 15
And
to 7. He
tic-tac.
misses one
Knick-knack,
question.
tic-tac.
Gives Jeannine a chance here to catch up because he did miss that question. Jeannine, you are going to spin. So if Jeannine...
It's an 8-point game here.
Yeah, so Jeannine's looking for romantic comedies. If Jeannine hits romantic comedies the same way Mike hit Bond, we're looking at a pretty damn close game here.
I heard Bibbs. I know who he's rooting for.
That 2-point miss was a big miss.
It's a big miss, and it eliminates James Bond as far as a category that Jeannine could get stuck with. So she's looking at more of her strengths than weaknesses on the wheel.
Great point.
That's what I'm here for.
And so they're also looking for spinner's choice here.
Yeah, it's coming around. Spinner's choice coming in a little too hot, but we could be looking at 2010.
2010s. 2010s.
I don't know about that.
She's going to stick with it. She's going away from it. Oh, Jay's coming in to talk real quick.
Jay Washington, never one to shy away from camera time.
Jay thought of giving the middle finger, realized there are children watching, and gave you the thumbs up.
Thank you for the thumbs up instead. Yeah. There it is. Does the respin. So this will be the final spin unless
I like that camera shot of the wheel, I got to tell you.
We'll have to respin again.
Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned.
If it hits James Bond, then you have to spin again. But if it, what are we going to hit here? Look at this.
Coming sell at Modern Classics.
Goes away. It looks like horror.
Or
Cameron Diaz. That's big. That's good. That's big. That's a big. That's one of her strengths.
That's right.
One of her strengths. That's big. Right. Yeah, big. All right, here we
Note
go.
that we will never hear a Cameron Diaz chant ever again.
Diaz questions. Please welcome. She's not here.
No.
It's going to be
Of course she's not, because she's a witch.
It's going to be me. All right, Jeannine. 4 questions in the wild, wacky world of Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz?
First question. Which film did Cameron Diaz and Spike Jonze work on together?
Being John Malkovich.
2 points. Yep. And she's off.
I guess we'll have to call this Beating John Malkovich.
Who was Cameron Diaz's co-lead in the 2008 romantic comedy What Happens in Vegas?
Ashton Kutcher.
2 more points for Jeannine.
Yeah, that dude that tried to replace Charlie Sheen.
Looking to possibly be tied with
Fail.
Kalinowski going into round number 3 as Christian Harloff takes a monumental gulp of water.
Hey, I'm stressed out of this match.
100,000 carcinogens of industrial waste.
To the world of Cameron Diaz. In My Sister's Keeper, Cameron Diaz plays a mom named Sarah. Who plays her daughter Anna in the film?
Abigail Breslin.
Wow. We're perfect so far. 2 more points. And Jeannine is now 1 away from a perfect round number 2. There's no bonus question for a perfect round number 2, but it does give her the right to be tied.
To tie it.
Going into round number 3. All right, Jeannine, your final question. In Cameron Diaz's category, who played Cameron Diaz's sister Rose in the 2005 film In Her Shoes?
Toni Collette.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
Toni Collette, really good in that unbelievable show.
Great round. Wipes the board, ties the game. And that shows you how big that 2-point James Bond miss
He's
was.
James Bond. What more do you want? But then coming back with Cameron Diaz, she's been in a lot of romantic comedies, but Jeannine knows a lot of Cameron Diaz, both inside and outside of that particular subgenre. So we are tied going into round number 3. This is what you want for a pay-per-view Schmoedown Throwdown.
It absolutely was. And Mike said it, too. It didn't mean anything that he hit it. It's just, we're tied up here going into round number 3. How's that go?
You think Mike talked himself out of answering all the James Bond
I don't
questions
know.
because he said it doesn't mean anything? Well, we are tied, and in round number 3.
Are you hinting at conspiracy?
In round number 3, we need
You're no Jesse Ventura.
Each competitor's mind, then lips. Those numbers will correspond to a
Mind
different
them
category of
lips.
movie trivia Schmoedown know-how.
But please
Numbers can
pick
range
2.
anywhere from 1 to
I want to
20.
hear the
The
lips
first
say
number you give us is gonna correspond to
2.
your 2-point question, and then you'll have a 3-point question, and if we make it that far, a 5-point question. So we are tied. Jeannine and Mike are deadlocked at 15. Mike, since you're sitting in that chair with those belts,
The
you're gonna
winner's
use your
chair.
3 preferred numbers first. What feels lucky, sir?
I'll do 2, 12, and 14.
2, 12, and
2, 12,
Mike.
2. You pick 2. I guess Mike's
9,
going to win
6, and
somehow.
9, 6, and 3.
All odds.
4.
No, that's an even.
There you go. So for the machine, you go. We will go first. Machine actually. First, I will ask.
Mike picked 2. He's somehow going to pull this
9.
out.
Machine number 9. Okay, you chose for category number 9, Cameron Diaz movies.
Ah!
And a bemused
How did that
Kalinowski
happen?
Can only smirk at the luck.
All right, here we go. 2-pointer. Cameron Diaz has played the role of Princess Fiona how many times in the Shrek franchise? 20 seconds to answer.
As many of them that there's been. 4.
Correct. All right, so now we bounce.
Jeannine has the lead, and Mike finds himself in the unusual position of trailing in round number 3, but he has a chance to even it up with his 2-point category. Mike, you selected number 2, and that is in the world of directors. And your 2-point question happens to be, how many Daniel Craig James Bond films has Sam Mendes directed?
What?
It's the way the questions shake out.
2.
That is correct for 2 points, and we are tied. It's an even slate, 17 apiece. But now we bounce back to Machine.
How did that happen?
Number 6.
Because he picked 2.
6. Comedy. Comedy. 3 points. 3 points. All right, here you go. What popular 2003 Christmas comedy finally received a sequel in 2016?
Bad Santa.
Five.
Bad Moms Christmas.
Ooh.
Looking for Bad Santa. Bad
Ooh.
Santa.
Bad Santa.
All right, so now we stay with Jeannine. No, shoot, we go to Mike.
Going
we go to Mike
back to
first.
Mike. Back to Mike. So, Mike, for your 3-pointer, you selected number 12.
James Bond.
And I can safely say you're not getting a Jimmy Bond question.
Oh, thank God for that.
Fantasy science fiction. So maybe you could get a bonus. For 3 points and a 3-point lead over Jeannine, forcing her to answer her 5-pointer correctly. Which MCU actress co-stars with Natalie Portman in 2018's Annihilation as the character Josie?
Tessa Thompson.
3 points, and Mike Kalinowski is in the lead.
So Jeannine has to hit her 5-pointer to force Mike to hit his 5. If Jeannine hits her 5, it forces Mike. However, if she misses, Mike Kalinowski will go on to play John Roca in round number 2.
Ooh,
all right,
hot.
Jeannine chose number 3. It's new releases. That's new releases. All right.
These are releases that are new.
In Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation,
Oh, God.
which old school comedian voiced Vlad, who is Dracula's dad?
David Spade?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
In Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, which old school comedian voiced
Is he
Vlad,
old school enough?
who is Dracula's dad?
Jeannine still has one more JTE roll should she need that extra 15 seconds.
Not sure what considers old school. Maybe David Spade is old school enough.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat the question.
Last one, here it is. In Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, which old school comedian voiced Vlad, who is Dracula's dad? Five, 4, 3.
Jerry Stiller.
And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Mike the Killer Kalinowski. The answer was Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks was the answer.
He's old school.
See him doing that voice.
Mel Brooks was the answer. Nice conversation here between the Machine and Kalinowski. And man, yeah, look, the
Well
number,
played by both.
It was well played by both. And look, we have ourselves a Mike Kalinowski and Roca matchup. But Jeannine went out fighting. She went out fighting. Big scrap there. And look, Frank Janish on the Schmoedown Rundown.
Big
I think
fan
said,
of Frankie Numbers, I believe, is his
me
given
too.
name.
But he said something I thought recently on, and he said it on this week's episode, and he said it on last week's episode. Mike Kalinowski's going through a legendary run right now.
Okay.
There is a lot to go into the run, and one of those things is luck. There's no doubt about it. That doesn't take anything away from the competitor itself and what they're doing, but you need a certain amount of luck that goes through it. I don't know if you get more of that than what Mike Kalinowski got in this particular match.
No, I mean, he got a lot of James Bond questions, but as he'll tell you, as I'll tell you, fortune smiles upon you, and then you have to take advantage of that moment because we've seen time and time again in the Schmoedown.
Well, in that case, no fortune shines on me, because I am
only to have
so
that be the sword
toad.
that cuts your darn head off. That did not happen with Mike today. Jeannine also spinning what I would consider a strength for her.
He was.
And in terms of Jeannine, I think you look at this as a match that should give her a lot of confidence as she looks forward to next season, because if you can stand toe-to-toe with somebody who has that much jewelry around their waist, and you can look them in the eye and say, I'm going to make you answer each and every one of your questions, or at least most of them. I'm going to get a 5-pointer asked to me because it's going to be important and relevant in the match. That is saying something.
I understand completely, and it was one of those things. Jeannine just played really hard. But look, now we have Jen Sturger, who's talking to both Jay Washington and the Machine. Here we go.
Thanks so much, guys. Jeannine, I know you're disappointed right now, but you just went toe-to-toe with a guy that's got 2 belts sitting on the desk, so you have to feel good about that.
I do. I really feel like I gave him a fight. I don't think he was expecting that, and I'll be back next season for sure.
Were you a little nervous when he spun James Bond?
A little. I mean, his luck has been insane, so I wouldn't expect anything less, but then the wheel went in my favor as well, so it evened the playing field for sure.
Yeah, you spun Cameron Diaz. Were you pretty stoked about that?
Yeah, I've been waiting for Diaz for a long time because I knew he wasn't going to get anything on me.
And also, we need to give honor to God for that because we did a prayer right before she spun the wheel a second time, and Jesus came through with a Cameron Diaz question then. Amen.
And Jeannine came right back through with the answers, so hats off to you.
Yes, it was super exciting just to get an even playing field after that, because after the last time, it was crushing. So
I'm going to say something that a lot of people would not expect me to say right now. Mike, I finally will give you credit. I watched you sweat this time. You didn't think she was going to do it, but you pulled one out. For some reason, I think the wheel needs to be impeached.
Get rid of the old wheel. Bring that old dump truck wheel back.
On the wheel. But I'm proud as hell of you. That's all I can really say before anything else. I know what this meant to you. I know what this meant to you, and granted, it's not a win, but you took his ass to the limit, and that's all I can ask of you.
And that is not the last we've seen of Jeannine the Machine. We'll see you next season, girl. You've had a hell of a run.
thank you. Thank you. And if I can't get a belt yet, I can at least look like one.
Damn right.
Amen. Back to you guys.
All right, Class C in defeat, as always, both Jay Washington and Jeannine the Machine.
I'm looking
obviously.
into the Constitution of the United States.
Can you
to see
impeach
if
a wheel?
Can impeach
I don't know.
an inanimate object.
Not sure.
I will get back to you. Continue.
Well, look, man, that is something. That match was great. It was a great match. They both hit their categories in round 2. Jeannine starts off round 3 by getting a Cameron Diaz question. Follows up, Mike gets a James Bond question. The randomness and the just in general,
That's
the
not
amount
the
of
wheel.
luck.
That's
No,
not
that's
the
just
wheel.
round
That's
3.
round 3.
That's just round 3.
See?
And the way that they picked their numbers, that it just all seemed like it was just tit for tat, and then they were throwing big punches at each other. It just Mike landed the heavier shots at the end, and here he is now advancing to round number 2 to face a guy that he's been friends with for a long time and at odds at
And now
for a long time, and defending his team titles on
wants to
October 19th.
choke.
Roca and
Coca-Cola.
Kalinowski going head to head, but Jen
Literally,
surgery is with
Coca-Cola.
corruption right now.
It's good. Good stress reliever.
Guys, I think I figured out why Chance is always wearing sunglasses. It's because I am blinded by all of this gold over here.
How do you think I have such a good tan? I walk around with these all day. The sun's up on my face there.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. Mike, congratulations. That was a fantastic win. She did take you to the limit, though.
You know what? You guys are out there. You watch this live. You've seen what has been building to this. We go at it. Tit for tat every single time. Every time I think I get her in a joke or a dig at her, she comes back, and I'm like, oh, man, she got me good. I was coming in ready for this. No, I'm not going to. She was phenomenal. This is not a round 1 match. This was like a 3rd round match in the tournament, how well she played. Yes, I was sweating, Jay. You absolutely were right. People were asking me because they knew I was facing Roca after this. Who was I more worried about? Jeannine. She was out for blood. That's the last time we were together. And I was so, it happened to bond. Yes, I was lucky on that. But then she leveled the field, and she did better than me. She had a perfect round. That shows what a competitor she is. So I'm not going to sit here and talk trash. I'll do that in about an hour online. But for right now, I'm sorry, man. I skinned through that one. I had a great first round. But what I do is, I study my weaknesses. I'd never seen Annihilation. So what did I do over this time? I had some downtime between my matches. I watched a ton of movies that people think, they just think it's Inner Geek when I watch movies. I've been watching movies animated. I knew that Trolls question. So I know my weaknesses, and I go forward. And now here with Roca. Outlaw, come out and play.
It just seems like you and Roca.
You ain't no warriors.
Can
do.
Watching him play in these matches, it's like Tyson at the end of his career. He's just like bobbing and weaving. They're trying to stay up. Against Silvestrini, I was waiting for him to lean over the table and start biting her ear to try and win that match. I mean, this guy, and then they come back.
Mean.
Poor Dan's got to carry him to the teams, man. Now we got to do that, and I've got to embarrass them live for a 3rd time. I mean, come on, Roca. But if you're glad for punishment, my friend, let's go step up to the plate. It's been a long time coming here. Long time. We're going to have some fun with this match. We're going to have some fun.
Ken, I would say that he said everything, but I'm sure you have something to add.
Well,
Does
Jennifer.
not need my voice. Mike knows what he's doing. We are here as part of an organization, something which, by the way, Jeannine the Machine, I can't say enough kind words about her. She's a talented artist. She's a great personality, and Jay took her as far as he can go. But let's be honest, Jay's out here like an extra on a TV show trying to say a line in front of a camera to get his SAG vouchers, all right? You need to join a real organization, Jeannine, and we'll take you to the top, all right? And as far as Roca, we love you. You got a great career, but this is kind of like making another Rambo. It seems good on paper, and then you see it, all right? We're ready for you.
Grace, you've got to be feeling really great.
Because I didn't like that
Oh my
movie.
gosh. Yeah, look, Jeannine is fantastic. We love her. I'm not going to talk any trash about her, but corruption is always going to be better. And you know what? Who doesn't love bringing Grandpa out to play? You know what I mean, Roka?
No.
Back to the desk.
Shots fired once again.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
continuous
Bang, bang.
battle between the
Bang, bang.
Horsemen and corruption continues now into round number 2. Listen to what we've got already in round number 2. If you go to the left side of the bracket, you've got Ben Bateman facing Paul Preston. You got The Kid versus Stacey Howard. The other side of the bracket, you got Ethan Irwin playing Bibiani. And now John Roca facing Mike Kalinowski. What a bracket. The finals, Orlando, October 19th. There is a possibility that either John Roca or Mike Kalinowski will be playing twice that night if they are indeed in the finals of the tournament.
Wouldn't that be great? Because it's cheaper for us to fly them as opposed to it is for 2 other people.
Oh, yeah. You
Not
said
that
it.
we would
You
ever.
said it. I guess, is that everything? Is that everything?
That's not everything.
It's not everything.
That's not everything because
you
I did some
sure?
research. Yes. Can you impeach an inanimate object?
Yeah.
Andrew Jackson tried to impeach a steel-tipped plow in 1816.
Didn't happen.
Didn't work.
Excuse me.
No, I say that in jest because the reason why I wanted, we said at the beginning this is it's kind of a doubleheader, but not as far as matches go. But there was the match itself, and then the nuke. So what is the nuke? What indeed is the nuke? And for those of you just tuning in, maybe missed the beginning of it.
I'm listening.
Robert Meyer Burnett. He was the commissioner for 1 month. He approached me. He had an idea. He said, listen, this is what I think. This could shake up the entire Schmoedown. I looked at it and I said, well, with some moderations, I think this actually could work very well, but I have to talk to Mark about it. We discussed it.
We did, at length.
We did, and we put it into play. So here is what the nuke is. Next season, season 7, everything will change. Meaning there will be a full draft next season. And doesn't mean just factions. The entire Schmoedown roster of 115 people will be placed on a roster. There will be 10 managers. 10 managers that will have a spot, 10 different spots on their team. Things are being modified, but right now that is the overall idea. What you will have is a draft that you will be able to come watch live. You'll be able to watch that live. The managers, 10 managers who will be announced, will create teams. Single records will stay the same. Teams records will stay the same. However, they will also be part of bigger teams. For example, if Jay Washington is a manager and creates a team, calls them the Urban Gladiators. The Urban Gladiators will now be a full team that each match that anyone plays will count for the Urban Gladiators record. At the end, there will be a larger prize. Now, one of the other things that people ask is, what if you manage champions? Mike Kalinowski, for example, is the Inner Geekdom champion. If he is still the Inner Geekdom champion or team's champion by the end, Grace Hancock and Ken Knapsack will have the option to keep him. They will lose a draft pick by doing so, but they will have him in the first round. There will be rounds that people will pick. There will be a full-on league. It will be a team sport. Think about esports style. The Schmoedown in general will change, and a lot of drafting and, I think, cozying up will happen.
The E stands for electronic. Christian, you're right. We did have a conversation about this, and now I have some follow-up questions that I did not get a chance to ask you off camera. So let's do it live. So we have all these teams that we love, and they're gone now.
Right.
Their records stand,
not necessarily.
but they're gone.
Not necessarily. So here, that's a good question. So the champions will be protected. The team champions will be protected by their manager if they want. The top 5 teams will also be protected, meaning this. Right now, if the odd couple was picked, if Jeff Snyder was picked in round number 1, Andreyko would automatically go with him. But the manager that chooses him would lose their first and second round pick.
I understand completely.
Now, for 5 through 10 ranked teams, for example, let's say the Scream Queens. If someone picked Kaylin, they would have the option to either keep Haley or not. Now, anyone ranked under 10, they're not safe.
Dunzo.
That's it. So there is going to be a lot, and more rules will come out. But you're going to see throughout the remainder of the season,
kind of confusing.
You will see managers start to cozy up to players. You might see some because
I'll need to gain some more insight on that.
Who are the other managers? You know a couple of them. But there's going to be some other managers, new ways.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure what to think about this yet.
You might want to see a manager, or maybe you never thought could be a manager.
You think you're going to see some managers doing some cozying up to some competitors towards the end of the season
I
after
do.
this announcement?
I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and I think that a full-on draft, which you will be able to attend if you want to, will happen in January. So that's just the beginning of it. A lot to come. The Schmoedown, the landscape changes dramatically.
That was the Nuke.
Next season. The Nuke changes the entire. Doesn't matter who's gonna. You might have a team that you know right now. They might not be together, or they might, and they might have a very different manager. Imagine Andrew Guy being managed by Tom Dagnino.
In a world.
Imagine all that.
Nah, I don't think he would pick him.
Imagine Kevin Smets being drafted by Ken Knapsack and Grace Hancock. There's a lot of different things that could happen next season, and there will be trades available next season. You can drop players. You can do a lot of different things that will happen next season, and the fantasy teams will be bigger and badder than ever.
All right, so
that's the Nuke.
Last question. How much of this was Robert Meyer Burnett's idea, and how much of this was your taking the raw clay that he puked up in your office and you molding it into something that we can actually use?
98% of it was my idea.
That's what I like to hear. I'm going to rank my all-time favorite nukes. Number 1, Nuke Lelouch, Tim Robbins, and Bull Durham. Number 2, Duke Nukem. Number 3, this Nuke that you have just helped create.
That was it, ladies and gentlemen. So, what do you think? Who should be drafted? What teams? What's going to happen next week? You thought Anarchy was crazy. The Nuke is going to change it all. But congratulations again to Mike the Killer Kalinowski. He faces John Roca in the second round of the Schmoedown. And yes, he faces him again in Orlando for the team titles on October 19th. Not only should you get your tickets for the SchmoedownLive.com, you can also have a chance to compete in the Schmoedown if you're one of the few that are there. You have a ticket. You'll be put into a fatal four-way inside this. What's the raffle that we're doing?
It's going to be very exciting. You could win a trip to Los Angeles to compete in a Schmoedown next season. Last but certainly not least, once again, we implore you, if you consider donating anything to the army that is currently waging war against cancer. Karen and Paul, they are stalwarts. They are going to get through this, and you can help them right now. Go to our fan Facebook page, go to Twitter, my Twitter, the Schmoedown Twitter. You can find how you can donate and help out Paul and Karen. We're sending all of our love your way.
Absolutely. Thank you to Mark Ellis. Thank you guys for watching live, and thank you to all the competitors. And for our studio audience today, we will see you next time.
No, you can't go off air yet. All right, so let's run everybody off. And this might be a little difficult. Thank you, Mark and Christian and Jen and Grace and Ken and Mike and Jeannine and Jay and Ben and Paul, who they've alluded to. And I'm pretty sure that was everybody, unless I completely missed somebody. Okay, let's talk about the match first, because obviously I just feel like stalling a little bit. The match, as they alluded to, was a great match. Really can't say anything about no conspiracy. Everybody got pretty much everything that they wanted, and you know, it was a level playing field. It was no foul play, none of that junk. Although it does seem like every time the old wheel does come back, James Bond gets spun. So get rid of the old wheel once and for all. If you want to retire it, retire it. Stop bringing it back like Brett Favre. Brett Favre always unretired, and they got what he wanted. Damn shame. Okay, so now we need to talk about this this Nuke thing that they brought up. I probably should gather my thoughts a little bit more, because this is still a little bit heat in the moment. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna be I'm probably gonna be in the minority on this. Right now this is kind of meh to me, because and I'm sure that's not what anybody wants to hear, but Christian, I think, alluded to it at one point during that particular post-credit scene. He specifically said, quote, "This is going to piss a lot of people off." Now, I'm not saying that I'm pissed off. Definitely not going to go that far, but I really don't know what to think about this, honestly. I get there's a big fascination amongst the fan community about factions and faction wars, and every other week we have a conversation. There should be a faction wars between blah, 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 blah. And the thing about what has made Schmoedown great so far is that the people that want the faction stuff can get that with with corruption and the horsemen and all these other the dungeon and all of them. All these factions are feuding with each other. So anybody that wants the faction war stuff has got that. Meanwhile, the other people, everybody else that is not going gaga over the faction war stuff and just wants to see individual players play for superiorness, they have that. This kind of completely does away with the entire everybody playing for their own cause, because pretty much, as they alluded to, pretty much everybody is going to be in a faction now, and everybody is playing for the bigger sake of a faction. You can make a case that some of the best rivalries in Schmoedown have been when an individual entity has tried to stand up to one of the big factions. Mark Riley taking on Roka in the Horsemen back in the day. That was one of the best feuds that there's been. I won't say Dan taking on John, because technically he was still the Lion's Den at the time, so be that as it may. But you had Above the Line taking on the Patriots and the Den. That was a big feud. You had Rachel taking on the Den, more so with Ken, but all that. But it just, to make everything about the factions. I'm sure a lot of people are going to like this. I'm already expecting that. I'm sure a lot of people are really, really, really going to love this. I just can't get myself to love it. I'll be interested to see how they do it, but right now it's not hitting with me completely. I think the draft also is, I don't know what to think about that either, because the one thing that I know for a fact has happened, the one thing that I like that Schmoedown has never done and never made it, open to anybody, is that they have never made it, known to anybody that they believe that player A is more important and more relevant than player B. They've never gone out of their way. They've always acted like Schmoedown is, everybody stands on their own level footing, and everybody's important, and everybody has meaning and relevance to Schmoedown. This kind of throws that all out the window, and it's kind of unfortunate, because I've seen players of Schmoedown, criticize fans that have, whether it be on the Twitter page or the Facebook page, that have said that they like Schmoedown because they think player A is more relevant, most relevant player in Schmoedown, or more important to Schmoedown than anybody else. And I've seen other players in the Facebook community and on Twitter, they don't like it when fans say that. But the problem is that they've now taken that and they're now making it into a storyline. And I think that's where, the whole thing, this is going to piss some people off, is, I know they don't want to say that it could actually happen, but it is possible that it could actually happen. There is a chance that some feelings can be hurt from this, in all seriousness, because by doing a draft, you are making it known that there are not only fans are going to be validated when they say that player A is more relevant than player B and player C is more important than player D, but now it's being put in the forefront with players now. The players themselves are now going to make it clear that player A is more relevant than player B, because if you're drafting somebody in the first round and someone else ain't getting drafted until round 8 or round 9, you have pretty much let the Schmoedown community know that this person is eons more relevant and important than that person over there. And that's not personally what I want to see. I don't want to have that, impression known that there are players more relevant and important than others. That's not ever what Schmoedown was built upon. It was all about, everybody got a chance, everybody got a shot, to be, a big name. And some accomplished it, some didn't. But everybody was treated equally. Everybody was treated fairly. So I don't know. This, I'll give it a chance. I'm certainly going to give it a chance, but that I fear that there is certain ways that this can potentially go wrong, and I don't want to see that happen. But as a fan and as a reactor, I think it is. I feel it is I need to be responsible enough to say, yes, this is an interesting idea, but I think we need to be aware that there are some things that could potentially, make this, go south for one way or another. But that's my 2 cents on it. I'm sorry if that got a little ranty, but I need to make that opinion known. Again, this can be an interesting idea if things are done a certain way. I think this can be fun and work out. But right now, I'm going to need to visually see how this works before I can say, yes, I'm completely on board. I've got one foot on the train right now, but the other leg's dragging right now. So I'll be interested to see what they do, how they're going to do this. But in the meantime, it's still kind of just meh for me, because I've never been the biggest fan of everything being about factions, and now everything will be literally about factions. So yeah, again, I apologize for that being ranty, but it would be ridiculous of me to not talk about it and not discuss it. I'm not just gonna look at it and go, oh, that's gonna do it for this edition of JTH Reacts. I feel like I need to bring it up, and I got to be honest about it. It can work. I'm certainly hoping that it can work, but I think in the way that it is being presented right now, I think some things will kind of have to be tweaked. I don't even really know what those particular things would need to be, but be that as it may. So that's going to do it for this edition of JTH Reacts to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. I apologize that kind of got kind of glum and sour there at the end, but it just, that's how I am anyway. My reaction turned into my gameplay, glum and sad. So follow me on social media at WWEJTH1, and be sure to follow all the official Movie Trivia Schmoedown content, the Facebook page, the Twitter page. Oh boy, I'm sure they're going to have a lot to talk about over the next little while. Please donate to the cause for Paul Preston's wife, as they alluded to. I personally donated. Obviously, many other people have donated as well. It is a wonderful cause to help them. So please do so if you can. Every dollar goes a long way. And also become a patron if you can as well to the Schmoedown. That also goes a long way. So until next time, we will get into round 2 next time. So until then, this is JTH. Thank you for watching this edition of JTH Reacts to the Schmoedown Throwdown, and I will bid you adieu.